Beef, why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know
the pool house is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
I'm sorry, but don't you guys find it kind of creepy that a 40-year-old man is
To me, it's
wearing
funny. He's a YouTuber. He wears a Dr. Doom mask to interview Tommy.
in all of their videos because they're afraid to show their pale white face? I don't know. That seems a little suspicious to me.
Yeah. Let me get Max in here. Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. Oh, no. I should never have allowed it to happen. I'm already regretting it. No,
especially some dude just wearing a mask all the time screaming at the camera.
Mad Max is here. Never thought I'd see you in my chat. Great costume drawing. Thanks.
Rich, long time. Please take off your shirt and show us some saggy melon.
Yeah!
And please, with some Finnegan Fox enthusiasm,
Yes!
show us on the floor. Oh, God, I see what you did there. You said, I like saggy melon.
Oh, there you go.
But, like, it just...
Hard at work.
This
is hard at work.
Messed up now.
Your boss?
Saggy, hold on.
Go get your boss. Go get your boss.
At work.
I need your clout.
Chase it off of me, bro.
I need your clout. Oh, wow.
I'm at work. You see I'm working? I'm trying to
get ready. Get ready
for
the
live now while I'm trying to get my job
There's a
done.
reason for that. Get ready for the cancellation live in person.
Get ready for the cancellation. Yeah, you were about to get canceled. You already know.
Mom!
Yes, honey?
It happened again!
Did you have your mask on?
I always have my mask on.
Oh, I'm not on.
I already told you. I was watching your other stream. You're like, I hope someone shows up. Listen, I'm backing down. I don't have. I can't take the melons.
You don't want this. You don't want
this.
You don't.
I don't know.
You don't.
I know you're stocking shelves. Oh wow, you're
smoke. You do not want to mess with.
See, the accusations were false. Someone said you're doing a lot of texting at work, and she's stalking.
Do I text you at work? Damn right, because this is my job. I'm doing my job while we're talking. So
you know what
multitasking.
You know what the reality is? She was texting watching YouTube, and then she's like, "I'm going live. I better stock shelves."
Guest Tommy Telleriso.
Telleriso. Oh my God!
All right. Restart the stream. Restart.
Nice chatting with you. I'll see you guys later.
Jeremy, I just reached 5K.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It really doesn't matter.
While you're here, if you'd like to consider memberships, it's only 99 cents.
Rip away, my friend. Rip away.
Because, man.
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome, everyone. Yes, it's a long intro, but now we got 33 people watching. You know what to do. Smash the hell out of the like button. I like doing these solo streams too to get a point across, really what's on my mind. When I have some free time, I'd like to talk to you. Ashley, if you're available, maybe you want to come on for a one-on-one because I'd like to get your opinion on this specific topic. Why now? Because I had some free time. I'm planning on putting a member stream up later. Little Mermaid. Yeah, and you know what's fun too is the highlight comments during the intro, and it gets everyone hyped. It gets me all, it gets me back to my roots because a lot of people have criticized me the way I do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm having a hell of a fun time annoying the shit out of people that are morons on the internet. Okay, sure. I'll give you a link. But here's the big question. Here's the big question. And I love Brian, and Brian gets in my mind, gets in my head a lot of the time. Should you ignore things? does this world get better? Because I think we've reached a pinnacle with the last few months in this world, and with things happening, that I don't think that you can just ignore. Let me see. Tony says, you're wrong about SCOTUS lying at their confirmation hearings. They alluded that they were fine with it, man. You know, they had an agenda. They have an agenda. They're supposed to rule on things. Listen, I don't want to get into politics, Tony, but they're supposed to rule on things that are cases that are presented to them. They're not supposed to ask for cases to present so they could change rulings of the past. That's like a conflict of interest to me. What's his name? Clarence Thomas. He said, I want to revisit these things. That's not organic. That's not organic, Tony, to say, hey, I want to revisit these things. All right. Yeah. We've reached a point where, listen, censorship is not the answer. I have never called for anyone to be deplatformed. The way to handle shit is to address it, be civil every chance you get. And I love doing it. I love doing it. And I love when John Campea and the Bigs call it out. 45 people smashed the out of the like button. Come on, everyone. Wake up. Wake up. You can't ignore shit anymore. You know, you can't ignore stuff. Things are happening. The world is changing. People need to speak their minds. And you got to be civil about everything. You can't just dismiss people because this is the way people think. Yeah. Yes, don't censor. Address it in a civil manner. And if you do that, you don't give them ammo. Don't give the other side ammo. If you feel so strong and passionate, don't give the other side ammo like I'm going to smack the hell out of you or any other thing. That makes your words lose meaning. If you address, and I love that intro because these people are not going to talk to me anymore. You know why? Because this madman has a lot of good points. And I'm willing to talk to this man. I don't think you show your support for this channel by liking the video. Do you know anyone on this platform of Movie Talk that's tried to talk to as many people as the madman or has invited as many people on? No, Saggy talks to me. Yeah, Saggy talks to me. Yes. We're going to get to a video. Tony, I can invite you on later. Yeah, I see Brian's point, but it doesn't help anything. Listen, things are changing. If it's getting to the point, there's no fear-mongering here. And there are hidden agendas and connections to very radical people. And you can't just ignore it. You can't just ignore things and go through it. Brian says, I see what's happening. People need to realize what we're saying to other people. I don't want us to go. Yes, Brian. And people sometimes in my chat go to across the line and go with pejoratives and go personal, but that's not me. And I try to correct them. Okay. I'm not going down a dark path. I'm not going to go personal, but I am going to expose their lies, expose the extreme agenda they have, and realize that there are things happening. And also, I think that people have been making a big mistake. If you need any more proof with this last week, don't dismiss the culture war. It's real. It's real, and we have to navigate it. And we got to be civil and try to understand a different point of view, even if you think they're completely wrong. It is real. It cannot be ignored. And if you ignore it, it's too late. I'm not talking about starting wars with your family members that disagree or anything like that. But don't take their bullshit either. The only response to bullshit is to use your voice. You know, people say go vote. That's a way to use your voice. Censorship's not the answer. Can you compete on the level of bullshit that they spew out daily? I'm not going to pump as many videos out as they do daily. And I'm going to do movie talk too. But that's the answer, is using your voice to counteract bullshit. And don't give the side ammo so it diminishes your voice. You know. No. But he did not address them by name, but we know who he was talking about. And some of my best videos are the ones where I get Campea calling out the toxicity in movie talk. And that's what we're going to look at here. No, listen. People dismiss the culture war and then they're shocked by things that have happened recently. Shocked by it. Listen. Yeah, well, this is the BVS nightmare sequence. This is the world. Low quality. I could change it. I also don't want people to get afraid either. I think, you know, people are like, oh, this is going to end up in a war. I hope not. Anything's possible. But, you know, we have a lot of conveniences and we have a lot of niceties in this country. And I don't think people want to give all that stuff up for this culture war, but the culture war is real, though. It is real, and people want to impose their will onto others, and that's never cool. And I actually think I think this event recently kind of shocked some people. Like, oh, this shit is real. Yes, I agree with that, Tony. I don't agree with your politics. You probably don't agree with mine, but Tony is not an enemy. Yes. And Tony, listen, some people said Tony should stop. And I'll be real with you, Tony. You probably saved people some money. You probably saved some investors. And that's not a bad thing. You used your voice. And in this day and age, that's an important thing. Nightmare Max. Okay. Ashley is joining. Hey, Ashley.
Hi. How are you?
Good. I've been trying to do more live streams, maybe by myself or with one other participant. And look, we got 60 people watching. Go sub to Ashley. Wow, that is an amazing shirt. Mandalorian.
Oh, thank you. I love it. It's my favorite. Yeah.
So there's been a lot of talk about what we should do when handling with bad info or hateful, ignorant people online. And I'm telling you right now, my opinion is, and I definitely want a woman's perspective. And I saw your comment on my last night's video. Yes, I always want a woman's perspective. It sounded
like mean, so I was like,
no. I want a woman's perspective. You're a great friend, you and Rhea, and I love it when this is what we're missing in this world. It's regardless of politics. Why is all these decisions made and discussed without women's input from the things that happen? That's what's disgusting to me, regardless of what. Now, there were some women on the Supreme Court, but the majority of it was men. And the majority of people going across the line on internet are men. And I have mixed feelings about the situation myself, but honestly, I should step down a little bit and listen to how, you know, this is what's missing across the board is we don't talk to people and get opinions from the people that impacts. Just like a movie talk, all this representation. Yeah, you find the young Rippas and the other people that are with your view, that share your same opinion, but you don't reach out to other opinions and you make them enemies.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really listen, there's degrees of racism in this world. And I'm not saying that they have they're not the like you said, the grandmasters, and they're hiding something in their closet.
Yes.
But just like when you have a friend, how you truly show respect with someone is when someone has a really different opinion. You don't treat them like garbage.
Yeah,
you don't
I
treat
agree.
them like an enemy. You don't treat them like an enemy. So even though they could say, "Oh, my friend Young Ripa agrees with me, so I can't be this." But how do you treat someone that's of a different ethnicity that has a different opinion? Then you treat them like garbage, and that's not cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't like me at all. They would not like me, right? And I wanted to speak onto your point, back to your point. Thank you, Raya, so much for putting the link in the chat. You're awesome, Raya. I'm like you. I like to talk to people who I might have a different viewpoint with it, because I feel like it's more of an engaging conversation, because you have that back and forth, and you can, sometimes you can change minds, but it's really just about expressing your point of view and having an open dialogue. And I think that's very important, instead of like being in this echo chamber where everyone thinks the same way. And if you don't think like me, then there's something wrong with you. You're the problem, instead of really that's part of the issue, that people don't really listen to each other. And so we never get anywhere. It's just like, this side's good, this side's bad. That's how it's viewed,
Yeah. Well, even with this situation, I do understand the other side too, because you're thinking about a baby's life. But ultimately, it's someone else's. It's put on someone else to decide that. It's not mine. It's not for me to say. I feel we have to be consistent with that. I can't tell people what to do, and it's very scary that we're at this point where this isn't talk anymore. And what do you think? Some people in our, we've actually been dismissing. The culture war is real. I've realized the last few weeks, it's real. And I don't think ignoring it is the answer. And, when you call out Jeremy and the others on the internet, they downplay their impact, but they are a group and they have connections to really extreme ideas.
I mean,
and
they have Alex
launched
Jones on their channel.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
He
so as
twice.
As a piece of the puzzle, when you call them out as the group, the whole, they kind of like downplay their impact. But as a whole, putting out all the same content and no one answering it, in the big YouTubers, the big movie talk, it can't address their bottom line. So they kind of, the only one that really has the balls to call it out consistently is John Campea.
Yeah.
So I give him credit there. And he doesn't really call it out by name, but you know who he's talking about each time. So we're going to watch that. But that's my thoughts here. That was my main topic, is you can't just ignore this. Match the bullshit every day. You can't censor people, but don't let people railroad over you and then play the victim when you call them out on their bullshit either. When you bring up stuff, you're being a little ignorant on this topic. Don't let them play the victim. What are you trying to do? That's just my opinion. No, you're being an idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have to match it. And it's this world. If you really want this world to get better, use your voice, use it consistently, and don't let people railroad you with their bullshit and then whine about it afterwards. No, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of these, I'm not going to cover this every day, but I thought long and hard about this.
Yeah.
Let me see what Brian is saying. I'm like a gray Jedi. My political journey is mirrored that of Anakin Skywalker. Max was the one who took my Vader mask off. Thank you for de-radicalizing me. I was radicalized to an extent, Ashley. There's videos out there that I haven't deleted that I'm like, man, I'm not proud of that. I was starting to see this point of view. I was miserable. And you know what? My wife and my father-in-law, I think my father-in-law noticed I was, because we love movies, the one that passed. He was really starting to worry. And they're the ones that shook me out of this stuff. I was starting to see things that weren't there. I was starting to think everyone was against me or what I want to see. And it's very ignorant and just small inconveniences for me. Like So what if a character's race swapped or what? So what? I mean, all these other jobs in this world, you have equal opportunities. Why should we, there's certain instances where it can go overboard like anything, but come on.
I have like very similar viewpoint in a way because I mean, I still have some issues with some race bending and gender swapping.
It could go overboard. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't like when you lead something with an agenda, but I do believe that representation matters. It's very important, to see someone that looks like you on screen.
Yeah,
and
but they're weaponizing that though.
They weaponize it.
So the other side weaponizes it.
And I, it was funny is like, I'm literally with my aunt earlier today and we were watching Copycat. You ever see that movie?
No.
With Holly Hunter and Sigourney Weaver. And they're like basically, Sigourney Weaver is a protagonist of this movie. She's a lead, dealing with like this copycat serial killer. And Holly Hunter is the detective who's assigned to the case, right? And if that movie came out today, it would be woke. It's an agenda. And the film came out sometime in the 90s. And it's a good film. Just like when you look at these things have always existed. Yes, we're getting more a swap of different leads and things, but these things still existed and no one had an issue with it. It's now like this thing, like I say this all the time, it is quote unquote the poor white man syndrome. They feel like they're going to be left behind because other people are getting these opportunities. But when you look at still the landscape of who is being cast, it's still predominantly cis white males that get these roles. Just because they're making space for new people doesn't mean that they're going to forget about other people as well.
No, RJ, there's good news. You're not witnessing the downfall. What you have to do is you can't ignore things anymore. You can't ignore it any single day. You can't put it off on the back burner. I'll address this later. It's uncomfortable to address this because you know what? They have no issue whatsoever bringing up their bullshit every day. So yeah, I'm not raging. Yeah. I think you can't. I think there is a path forward. You just can't let shit slide, ignore it, put it in the closet, and ignore history either. You have to address everything every time, every chance you get. Never let up, never forget, and just be reminded that there are people that actually do have secret agendas. And this stuff is real. This stuff is real. Yeah. But there's a path forward. If you're going to protest, don't go violent. Use your voice.
I've been at protests before. Yeah. I've been part of organizations that people probably have a problem with now because I supported them. And I feel like I kind of, I remember I talked to Brian about this. And you were there. I was talking about, after a vote for, someone who was elected into office, I felt very angry, right? And I started joining organizations that put me on the other end of this radicalization, right? And then I was like, wait, that's not really where I'm at here, so I kind of pulled myself back. So I understand.
And the other important part of this is have your opinion, but reach out to people that it impacts.
Yes.
So I'm not canceling anyone from their opinion, but I want you to slow down and say, well, this is right, this is wrong. Talk to people it impacts. If does this impact you, it doesn't mean you don't have a say in it. But I want to hear from people it impacts. Like even our conversation last night, I couldn't sleep last night, and I'm glad Enosh. That was a beautiful story Enosh said, and that's really wow.
It was wonderful.
That would make me so conflicted on the specific subject, knowing that how close it was with my mother, and that's beautiful. And I still don't like. I'm still very conflicted on this specific issue, but it's not for me to decide. It's not for me to impose on other people. And use your voice. Don't stop. Keep trucking, and reach out to people that it impacts. I am so sick of all these movie talk people complaining about shit. Complaining about women, but not including women, and then pointing to women they know. Yeah. Fuck you if you keep doing that, because we want to hear women, and we want to be allies to people it impacts. I'm so sick of this. Everyone talking about it, and I'm going to call them out on it. You know what? Go talk to some women. Go talk to some people that care about representation and treat them with respect instead of mocking them. I'm so sick of it. But yes. Yeah, we know you love women, Nicotina.
Shout out to Nicotina.
Yeah, but
loving the women.
Yes, exactly. And
Thank you.
Keep now Brian's trying to keep the peace, and I respect that. Sometimes when we have a chat, someone will go, or on a panel, someone on the panel or the chat will go overboard and start using pejoratives and stuff. Don't go where we are, what we're criticizing. Be better. Hashtag be better shouldn't be a meme. That should be a responsibility for people to be adults. I'm not censoring you. I'm telling you you're a fucking child if you act like this on the internet. You're juvenile, you're regressive, and you're obnoxious and ignorant. But don't go to the things like they're getting in their white hoods and stuff, because that just gives them ammo to gaslight. That gives them ammo to gaslight everyone. These people are crazy. You're helping them when you do that. You're helping them.
I mean, and it doesn't help because you have both of the extremes. You have this extreme that they make everything again about the woke argument, right? And then the other side that calls all of them white supremacists, things like that. And so when you have both of these extremes on both ends calling the other side crazy, we got to tone down some of that rhetoric. Yeah. Call it out when we see it. You know what I'm saying? I know someone asked me when I had an issue when I brought up how I felt about, Mecca Random, which her darky, and we streamed about it.
So,
I was like, if I don't speak about it, who will? I am a Black woman, right? And for me, I'm going to speak about it. I'm going to call it out in any ways. Like, you can call me an SJW, you can call me whatever you want to. At the end of the day, if I see bullshit, excuse my language, sorry. If I see nonsense, I'm going to call it out. That's just it. At the end of the day, if I don't like your hateful rhetoric that you're putting out there and you're promoting, I'm definitely going to speak on it. I'm not going to soften my voice, for a click or a view either. If I feel a certain way about it, I'm going to speak on it because someone needs to call them out about it. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And
RJ, we're not yelling here. I said F you. I mean, they deserve an F you. That's not yelling. That's just a solid F you to people that want to comment on shit and don't try to talk to other people. That's the biggest problem in this world. No one wants to talk to each other outside your bubble. But let's get to John Campea calling out. We got 67 people watching. And you know what, Ashley, I love this one-on-one. I'll reach out to you as much as I can if you're comfortable doing it on certain topics, because man, is your voice important in this. And, we need to hear from people it impacts, and I Lonely Banter is another one that he is not afraid to say what he wants. He's lost subs.
People, call him racist, everything.
And I will say this, even though I'm not going to get too political, that regardless of how you feel about January 6th either, how crazy this culture war is, it's not a coincidence that this came out right when the things got the hottest for January 6th hearings. It's not a coincidence. This is how volatile this situation is, going back and forth. They did it to distract it. Of course, this was their agenda, but it's what is taking up the conversation now when what was before last week, And these were people in his own party calling him out. And I'm not getting into the anti-Trump stuff. I'm not. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. I don't. I think people like Jeremy actually do, that they think he's like a god emperor. He's just a man that I'm not particularly a fan of.
I won't. Yeah.
Don't give him strength by. But I'm saying it's not a coincidence. Think with your heads. It's not a coincidence that this came out right during that. This is politics on both sides. You might say, people say, this event was a dog and pony show. Well, what was this? Right when? Come on. It's such a coincidence that this is happening. It's not a coincidence this is happening at the exact same time. Thank you, Melkai Trace, with the 99-cent super sticker. All right. Okay.
So we're gonna watch a video.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, exactly. Both sides. They're both doing things right now.
Oh yeah, that's why I've said
Yeah.
the two-party system is part of the biggest issue in this country.
No, Tony, I know it was leaked months ago, but when they actually overturned it was precise.
But the hearings were already coming as well, though. So it was
but the timing of when they overruled it was, I believe, subjectively, was a targeted date to shift the conversation back a different way, to take the heat off of Trump and his associates. You know, look at Clarence Thomas. His wife is involved in it too. It's to take heat out. It was this date was, to me, was extremely like, okay, is it a coincidence this happened right now? They had,
Thomas. Yeah, he's a fine man. Think about what he did to Anita Hill, right? Think about what his wife did January 6th. And let's think about the things that he said on Friday, about revisiting things of gay marriage, contraceptive. This man is a clear and
it's not fear-mongering to say that, and it's not. I think it's inappropriate for Supreme Court judge to bring that up, asking for people to bring cases to him. That's not organic. I think they're supposed to. If maybe I'd be wrong. I thought they were supposed to roll over cases that are brought to them and not ask for specific type of cases to be brought to them. That's my opinion. I don't know if I'm accurate there, but he's asking for for cases to be brought up that he can roll or overrule on, where I believe their place would be to roll on existing cases and not ask for specific subjects. Okay. Well, Tony, I'll get you on next time. Okay. There's no such thing as coincidence. All right, and I'm open to talking with Tony too, but I just want a one-on-one, and let's get Ashley's
and
time to shine.
Caden sent me an article too. We can look at that after the video about the two.
Okay, and I actually really like these videos that toxic fandom and how to spot it. All right, let's bring this up here. This is the man, the camper, the Campea. The reason I call him Campea, the camper, is because people give him a lot of credit, but basically he camps on the internet and puts out content consistently, clips of live streams where he clogs the algorithm. And that's what a lot of people do. That's the game, though. That's the game. So I say he camps on the internet for fun. He never leaves. He's always on the internet. Okay, so I got to do no more of that. All right, let's get to his commentary here. Toxic fandom and how to spot it. Fireside chat.
Hey guys, John here, and just out at the fireplace again tonight, just writing my show notes, which you can see getting ready down there and everything. And I thought I'd do a little fireside chat. I had some people writing me today about, toxic fandom and what is toxic fandom, and I thought I'd take a second.
What, Matt? We could invite Matt on. I don't. Then I feel bad not inviting Tony on. No, let's just keep it me and Ashley. Let's keep it me and Ashley.
And just to kind of give my 2 cents on that about what is toxic fandom and what is not toxic fandom. See, here's the thing. Too many people think that if somebody doesn't like something you like, they're just quick to label that toxic. Like, you're allowed to not like something, right? And I don't think it's fair to label a critic, a reviewer, a fan as being toxic just because they didn't like something you liked, and if they expressed that they didn't like it and why they didn't like it. I don't think that's toxic at all. I think that's perfectly fine and totally fair discourse to have.
Well, I'm going to address my critic here, MIDI Music Forever. I will admit Tony is very opinionated, and I value his opinion, but he will keep bringing his opinion, where I want to hear a woman's perspective on this certain one. And I think he has the potential to overtake a stream. So that's my point of view. And I'm not throwing shade at Tony. He has a big voice. and he's very consistent in his opinions. And I don't really want to get into the whole SCOTUS thing. And that was my opinion. I might be wrong. I'll correct myself. But yeah, I'll be transparent. Tony has a lot of opinions, and that's where it's going to go if he comes on. So yes, I can handle Tony when I'm prepared. Tony is a handful. That's all I'm saying. No shade towards Tony. Yes, I'll take him on it because then it becomes a Tony stream, honestly. And that might be to his benefit. He's got a big voice, but that's honestly not that me and Ashley can't handle ourselves against Tony. It's just like, oh boy, yeah, he has a lot of opinions, and that it's going to go long too.
Within the fan community, right? Like I do negative movie reviews. I'll use, the movie, I don't know, what came out before the pandemic, Split. I'll use Split as an example. I hated that movie, right? And I think it's totally fair as me as a fan and as a critic to say I really didn't like the film and here's why I didn't like it. You don't need to agree, and that's perfectly fine, and that's great if you love it, but for me, I didn't like it. I don't think there's anything toxic about that, and I think a lot of fans...
Now, that is something else that we've been experiencing, giving, even saying any criticism never you're labeled toxic, and I think that's a result of the Geeks and Gamers and the people on it that just hate everything. I think that's a result of that. Everyone.
It's a wow word. It's like one of those words that people throw out there. Like if you don't like something, you're automatically toxic. When you're maybe giving ballot points, and if you don't like something just because it has a person of color in it, or a woman is the lead, that is toxic behavior. But if you have valid information, right, valid concerns, why you don't like something, that doesn't make it toxic. I agree with that completely.
And here's Brian's definition. I think toxic is not liking something I don't like. If you mock and belittle and don't leave well enough alone, that is what I define as toxic fandom. Mm-hmm. Aggressively going after the same thing over and over and over again for monetary reasons and not caring and mocking fans. I have an issue with mocking fans. Like, even though I really don't like stuff, I don't like it when you mock other people's joy. Like, if they get joy out of something in life, more power to you. Well, no, I think fandom can be a good thing. You just have to search for the good, just like anything in life. There is good out there. Look at Ashley. Look at all the friends we've made along the way. There's a lot of good out there. You just have to search for it. Nothing is handed to you in life. You got to search for it and you got to fight for it. There's lots of good people out in this world. The loudmouths ruin it for everyone. The loudmouths on both sides ruin it for everyone. And let's just stop that. Let's just stop that.
A lot of outlets just do that, and I don't think it's fair to label them toxic. Where I think something becomes toxic is when it goes beyond liking or not liking something and becomes about apparent obsession with not only trashing on it as much as possible, but also seemingly making it your mission to get other people to not like it as well. Let's just use
yes. For example, now he's not calling out specifics, but you know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. There's an MCU agenda. Yeah, MCU. It's all about the women and stuff. That's where it. And they do have an influence. You see the morons in the comment section repeating the NP talking about real NPCs that can't think for themselves, saying MCU. The ignorant. It does have an influence on this people. And it does have an influence on fandom. Now, what do you do to help? Just call it out and don't become what they are.
Absolutely call it out. Like Thor Ragnarok. Thor: Love and Thunder. Excuse me. All of a sudden, they go into it with the misconception that just because Mighty Thor is there, just because Jane Foster's there, she's going to take over the movie. And Thor is going to be sidelined in his own movie, and she's going to outpower him and outshine him because women,
Tony says I'm being hypocritical because I criticize them consistently, but I don't normally go. I try to really hard to stray away from personal attacks, and I try to counteract our words. That's another thing. Just like, hey, you could think I'm hypocritical all you want. I don't care. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing it my way, and counteracting bullshit, in my opinion, is not toxic. If I use the context of their words, counteract what they're saying, I would love to talk to them. Look at my intro. I've tried to talk to them as many people. They ignore me now for reasons, you know. So, Tony, I value your opinion, and I don't give a shit if you think of being hypocritical, because everyone has hypocrisy to some degree.
But I'm curious, what
well, because I consistently put Jeremy on thumbnails. Am I hating on him? Yeah, I'm putting him at clown nose and tears. Because
I mean, you're kind of poking fun at it. It's
yeah. I'm not. I've never said I hate him. They consistently say Disney and Hollywood and Kathy Kennedy hate you. They say that all the time. They use hate and weaponize it. And you know, now I really dislike Kathy Kennedy back in the day, and you could find videos where I was going way hard at her. But I think she said she should be fired and that she's not good at her job.
I see his point. His comment. Let me grab that comment really quickly.
Okay.
He says, "No, Max, you're being hypocritical because you said you have to fight for what you believe in, and then say they are toxic for fighting for what they believe in." You know, I think I'm going to push back on that just a little bit. I think when you make videos, when someone has come out and said that, you know, I've been receiving death threats or very comments, you know, on IG, and then they put that on their story, and then you question that, and you say, oh, it's just a little bit of comments, right? You kind of diminish what this other individual goes through. That is being toxic, okay? I don't see how you're fighting for what you believe in that situation. You're diminishing something that has happened to someone else that has been very hurtful and has been very based in their race, in their identity, and their race.
And let's be real, they are gaslighting the audience and minorities and women when they brush it off and act like it's nothing. That's gaslighting, acting like you're crazy to bring it up. It doesn't exist, diminishing it while making it about themselves. Well, I get stuff all the time. I'm just a 100,000 YouTuber, but I get stuff all the time. You're diminishing someone else's feelings and not, you know. But let me get back to his comment here. That's if you were giving them the benefit of the doubt. The benefit, I'll be clear here. You could clip me on this, Tony. The benefit of the doubt from these people has been all dried up. We know you used to think they say things are bad before it is. I have a feeling that this is going to be, and I'm going to use the word that Ashley doesn't like to say, because they've co-opted it and made it a weapon. Woke. Yeah. I have woke vibes. I got woke vibes. They don't know anything. If you want to see proof, go look at Jeremy's Dune. This feels woke. He doesn't know that Dune was extremely political. He did it for clicks. He did it for money. He doesn't care at all. So they deserve no benefit of the doubt whatsoever anymore. They don't.
I am woke. I am woke, even though the word has, you know, been very diminished. I'm steeped in Black consciousness, and that is what woke is. So yeah, I'm very.
Can I be a woke ally? Can I be a woke ally?
Yes, you can be a woke ally.
Okay, I'm a woke ally. I'm not woke, but Ashley's gonna stay woke. She said from
forever.
She did a great hour stream on Bigford Entertainment. You know, was teaching us some things. And look, so we got 102 people watching, Ashley. This is how this is how important it is to get a woman's perspective. They want to hear your voice, Ashley.
Yay.
And you know what? All you 100 people better sub to Ashley, please. She is a great content creator. She's over 600 subs. She could use a boost. Help this woman get monetized. Definitely. The Streamy Awards. Actually, I'm bringing back the Fandom Awards this year. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have you. I'm definitely going to have you on as a nomination for Fandom Awards. I think you might get my vote. I don't know.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, even though you're not extremely new content creator, you've been really active this year. So new content creator, I would put you in that category. All right, let's see what else Campea has to say here.
Example of Split. I hated the movie. And so when I did my review about it, I negatively reviewed it. I talked about it as badly. If somebody asks me about it, I'll say I didn't like the film, and here's why. But I never went on to make 18 videos about how much Split sucks. I didn't write 28 tweets about how dumb Split is. I didn't make it my mission to try to go out and spread as much discord and spread as much hate for it as possible and try to get other people to hate it too. Like, that's when something kind of becomes toxic, or when, you know, you start hunting out. If I started
now, Ashley, isn't it great to hear Campea just like this casually, really going hardcore on a topic? And I love what he's saying here. No, well, this is the argument. When's enough? What's the line? Where do you move the goalpost?
When you make it when it becomes an obsession, and when it's something that you constantly do, you know, when it's just like, you know, a daily, an hour, when you're constantly going after a specific thing and talking about how you don't buy the product, you're you know, watching it for free, and you're making videos where you're, you know, being very disrespectful to the actors in the show, I would consider that toxic, and where you spend a lot of your time just continuously going after the show. My thing is, yeah, I know we're on YouTube, but it also gets to a point where if you don't like something, it's fine. Don't watch it. But of course, they're going to watch it because they are going into it with the intent to hate on it. So therefore, they are toxic, right? If I don't like something and I feel that strongly about it, I'm not going to watch the property. Sorry, that's just me.
Tony, here's the difference between what you did. You had facts, you investigated, and you didn't use bullshit talking points in hateful content to dismantle the Miko and what a television was done. They do not have a point at all except injecting politics into it. That's their only point, is to make money and inject politics into the conversation, when all they claim to say is they don't want politics. So there is a difference between you. No, I used to think Tony was a little I didn't like all of Tony's angles, but he did actually help people. That's, you know, I spent money, I wasted money on a television because I believed in the product. And there's investors that were lied to. Now, when you invest, you're putting your money at risk. But if it's based on bad info, if people are lying to you to get you to invest, that is across the line in illegal. You can't lie to people to get them to invest. You have to be truthful. So there's a difference there. And yes, he went hardcore after Television Amico, but your concerns had substance. There's no substance here whatsoever.
I think Jade also has a good example too, kind of what I was alluding to.
Yeah.
Example, Ryan Kennel making fun of a 10-year-old's teeth for no reasonable reason at all. That is an example there.
Just for laughs, and, you know, and people that find that funny are disgusting. That's your freedom to do it. I'm not canceling. I'm not saying you shouldn't be on the platform, but I'm going to call you out for it. That's what I mean. Like, don't let shit slide. Yeah, you're an asshole. Your freedom of speech the whole of your freedom of speech is used for garbage. You're a garbage person. Now they call Chris Evans a garbage person. You're a garbage person. The only thing you use your mouth for in your freedom of speech is garbage and to make money, and you don't care about shit. So that's
he's garbage because he pushed back at people who were upset over a 5-second kiss. And literally, if you would have been looking down or grabbing a bite of popcorn, you would have missed it in a split second. That's how quick it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, they say things are bad before they even watch it, though. Tony.
Yes, they say, but I get what you're saying, Tony. Yes, they should watch the content and consume it. But when you are constantly talking about how you're, getting a link to watch the content, and you're going into it with the preconceived notions that you're going to hate that content, I'm just saying that maybe you should stay away from that specific content, because you've built your whole agenda on hating Disney Star Wars, right? And you never go into it with an open mind.
They
it's
don't
always
wait for facts
from a point to hate it.
Yeah,
right? You're having arguments about canon issues when you've not consumed the series and you've not seen episode 5, where they answered a lot of these questions that a lot of people were up in arms about and pissed off about.
Yeah.
Right? You're going in and you're hating it.
Tony waits for context and research. They don't wait to bash. As soon as they see something, they say they got vibes. They're going to bash it. It's a bait and switch without any context whatsoever. Hey, Firewater. Yes. Okay, let's finish this here. And this is a great conversation. Don't forget to sub to Ashley. Got like 4 more subs for you. We're getting there, Ashley. You're getting there, Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Hunting out
Appreciate
people
it.
who did like, say, Split. And then I started jumping on in their comment sections.
Well, on this type of video, when we got 100 viewers, we will have people on the replay too. If you want to go sub to Ashley, it'll be in the description. First thing in the description, if you're watching on the replay, if you want to know who this lady is and what she's,
This crazy lady.
All this great Marvel content she has, and lots of opinions on lots of different things, it'll be in the description.
Are on their Twitter feed saying, "No, you're an idiot if you like this movie. This movie's totally suck. How could you possibly like it?" Like basically trying to, as Chris Carr would say, yuck on somebody's yum. Once you start purposely going out to try to kill other people's joy, that's toxic. Like that's where it's poisonous. That's where it's toxic. When you kill cells and then you try to kill the other cells around that, and you try to kill healthy tissue and spread that death.
Oh, wow. We got a new member, Tony. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Tony deserves to be in the conversation, and he is willing to have conversations. And I was being genuine when I said I think you're completely different because you search out facts, and you know there's a point to your criticisms, and that's a big differential and nuance here on the internet. Is there actually a point to what they're saying? And I've done enough research on these other people that they don't have points. I know what they're about, and they're lying. And I don't think Tony's lying. See you in the member stream. Okay.
Yay! I'll be there too. Can't wait.
Yes. Firewater says Geeks and Gamers are in a lot of trouble. A lot of counterculture channels are actually trying to create original content. Yeah, they can't build up. They don't exist without Disney. They do not. Disney's not scared of people that rely on Disney.
Yeah, that is true.
I rely on Disney. A lot of the content I cover is Disney. Yes, there's issues with Disney. There's issues with every single company on this world.
Yeah.
They also provide jobs. So you know what? What am I going to do? I'm not condemning people that want to protest Disney or whatever, but honestly, they provide jobs. They provide content. This world is not perfect. That's my point of view. Like, what am I going to do? I would rather they employ so many people. Disney probably saved people from the industry collapsing during the pandemic, in my point of view, with all those digital artists keeping productions going, regardless of what you think of the quality of those content on Disney Plus. They probably saved people's jobs. And you know what? The industry collapsing, people are like, oh, down with Disney. Do you know how that would impact everyone? You know how much the entertainment industry is so important? Maybe things would have been a lot worse without the entertainment industry, especially during the pandemic. Can you imagine if we didn't have the entertainment industry and that collapse too?
That would have been horrible. I mean, people would have really had
that impacts everyone.
Minds. Yeah.
I'm serious. Think worldwide. Think about how this impacts everyone. Disney collapsing would impact you. It would impact you. Yes, I mean that kind of irks you when you hear that about sometimes big companies they provide a lot of jobs, and I take that seriously. If we had no Disney, what would we talk about?
If I had no Disney, I'd probably be in tears.
Oh God, they're really talking. Ashley, are you going to do TikTok? They keep talking about TikTok.
I've had like the conversation, and Matt explained to me what he does. It's quite interesting, but I don't know.
Okay, all right. Let's see what else. Let's finish this out here.
That becomes toxic. Like, you didn't like Split? Great. Okay. Going around and trashing on other people's things who did like Split? Okay, that's kind of pathetic. And that's weak. Making 25 videos about how much Split sucks, that's not just saying you don't like something anymore. That's now just plain old being toxic. And by the way, positive feedback to a movie And fans who are positive about something can also become toxic, right? Let's say you loved Split, which is great. If you love Split, great. I celebrate that. That's awesome. I wish I could have liked it. But it's also toxic if you love Split, but you start hunting out other people who didn't and start bombing and trolling their comments or their Twitter or whatever and saying, you're an idiot if you didn't like Split, blah, blah, blah. See, liking something can be taken to a degree where it becomes toxic as well. And I think whenever you've got a fandom that goes beyond something, I may not like some things, but I celebrate if other people do because I love that they love something. Anything outside of that gets into unhealthy territory. And I think that's where you get into toxicity. And I think I have fallen into that. I think you've fallen into that. I think we all of us as fans fall into toxic behavior from time to time. And I think we need to keep our eye on something. But I mean, I would just encourage all of us as fans, because I've caught myself. I've been guilty of this too. I've caught myself in this. If you watched a movie and you didn't like it, but then you find hey, you know what? This is the 17th Facebook post I've made about this. Maybe you're getting into some toxic behavior. Maybe now it's not just about you didn't like it, because everybody who follows you on social media already knows you didn't like it. Now you're just trying to spread the fact that you didn't like it. Now you're just trying to get other people to jump on board, or you're trying to, create a camaraderie of hatred around something.
Yeah. Yes, that's it right there. The camaraderie of hatred. Yes.
Now this is important. And if you want to see John Campea calling out them before, I have 2 other videos in the description besides Ashley. Sub to Ashley if you want to check out me covering this before. This came out a few days ago and I put it on the back burner, but I was not going to let this go unnoticed. People need to check this out. And I do have I criticize Campea too, but I do have a lot of respect for him that he is not so worried about subs that he's not going to talk about certain things. He does things that annoy me, but he is going to speak his mind, and we need more people to be allies to those that are impacted or that want representation. And talk to more people. Don't let shit slide and get other people's point of view and see who it impacts and talk to them. And don't make them a villain. That's toxic. Making someone with another opinion a villain, that's toxic, But this is a great conversation, isn't it? Don't you like this? I wish he would do more of these. He did this because he wasn't feeling well. I like the fireside chat. I would go chill with him, have a beer.
Yeah,
but I think it
seems cool. I didn't really watch
something as toxic when it's.
Well, he only did a couple of these
recently.
Yeah, he only did a couple of these. I hope he continues. He used to do this thing where he talks. He used to talks on walks, and he only did that a couple of videos too, and then he stopped. But this is more intriguing to me than his other content, really. And that's where that's also, it kind of inspired me to do more solo live streams or with one friend, Also, sometimes the panels, this gets a really great time to highlight someone else's voice, like Ashley, where it's more in better conversation with one or two. And I'm really open to these type of collabs. Although we're not going to go much more past an hour. We're probably going to finish soon. We'll get our final thoughts after this.
Okay.
It's not like somebody just giving a review of something they didn't like. Perfectly fine. I don't think you should label people like that as toxic. And being positive can be toxic if you find yourself trying to attack other people for not liking something that you like at the same time. So, me, I love Star Wars, right? When somebody comes to me, I didn't like the original Star Wars. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I wish you did, but you didn't. That's okay. I hated, or something I hate about Star Wars. Like, I hate the prequels. But if somebody comes to me and say they love the prequels, I'm like, hey, man, whatever got you on the train, that's good with me. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm not going to spend my time trying to talk other people not liking it. But, and then I'm not going to make...
Actually, this comment I got to highlight. I sorry to interrupt, but Ray J's World, the problem is canceling also. But I think the canceling argument is overblown. Before social media, when you were an ass, people just didn't want to talk to you anymore. Or when you lost the job because you're inappropriate, you just lost your job. I'm so sick of people overusing cancellation. I was canceled. Well, what did you do? How did you behave? Are you a good employee? Yeah.
I think my issue is like when we cancel people for things that maybe happened 5, 10, 15, 20 30 years ago.
But this is also overused in an excuse
Yeah.
for people to be horrendous.
You
You're
know,
just
because
trying
some
to
people
cancel.
grow and learn, right?
Yeah.
Anybody has a chance to learn from a mistake and make that change. And you know, as cliche as that might sound, right? We all can make mistakes and learn from them. And like people that, you know, dig up people's old tweets or things that they've said in the past, sound bites, and they cancel them based off that thing, off those specific things. It is, to me, is overboard. Like, I think that we should be really careful about who's getting canceled. Unless you've done something extreme, you know, no one really
Well,
deserves
people
to be canceled, in my
overuse it for,
opinion.
you know, people say I was canceled and sometimes they're bad employees or they're inappropriate or, you know, it's not that people have lost their jobs all the time for bad behavior. You weren't canceled. You're just an ass. I'm sorry. You have to be good for the company. Not that I'm taking company sides all the time, but a lot of people spouting this shit are just, no one wants
Yeah.
to.
And
Like
some people
Firewater
were
says,
warned,
freedom of
right?
association. Yeah, if you're warned, we don't like this. This is our company. We don't want this. And you still continue to do it. You made a decision. You weren't canceled. You decided that you wanted something over your job, which is your right. I'm not, but don't be a victim then, because you got a warning.
And again, yes, that doesn't change. Just because you lose your job doesn't mean like you're free, your freedom of speech, your rights are being trampled on. You know, you have the right to say what you want, right? And then people then accordingly, if it's the opposing of their view or what their company stands for, if they let you go, they have that right also to say, you know what, we're gonna part ways here.
I gotta take care of a bot here.
Yeah, I was gonna grab it for you.
The more I hide them on the channel, the more they show up. I don't get what
they love you.
I don't like that. That makes me feel weird.
They know this is where it's popping. There's always a bunch of people in the chat, so they think, you know, maybe somebody will click on it.
Yo, Firewater, you don't have a constitutional right to a job. That's socialism. That's what we're against.
Exactly.
Right. Firewater consistently says freedom of association. I'm not trying to cancel you. I just don't want to associate with you.
Yeah. Like if you say
I'm not
some whack
canceling
stuff
you.
and I don't,
whack.
and I'm like,
You're whack.
Bye. You know.
Right. Exactly.
That's it. I'm done. Like, bye. That's, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no warnings needed for me. So peace.
Yeah.
Videos anymore. Like, when's the last time I made a video? Like, everybody knows I don't like the prequels, but when's the last time you saw me make a video about
I don't like
prequels
you anymore.
I'm joking. Probably been a decade or more or something like that, right? Or how many times you see me make a video about using Split as an example. But anyway, that's my little thought about what is toxic fan behavior, what is not toxic fan behavior. And that's just kind of my take on it. So take that for what you will. This has been a fireside chat with John. Thank you for joining me.
Okay. I think that was great.
Yeah. I really like that video too.
Great conversation. Again, we need to get Ashley to 1K. She needs to be making some money on here. She's doing great content, a great voice in the fandom, and we need more ladies in the conversation. And we want to make sure everyone's comfortable too. When the lady comes around, treat her like another nerd. She's just a nerd.
Yeah. I'm just a goofy, awkward nerd that laughs, you know, awkwardly.
I mean, she's seen Marvel movies more than I've seen Star Wars, and that's a great thing. She a
lot of comics and toys.
Yeah, exactly. She just wants she wants to be here to have fun and add to the conversation, and you know that should be respected, and we need more of that. So we'll get to your final thoughts, Ashley, and then we're going to read the super chat. Fourth $1,005. I feel if Disney had the power and saw G&G and saw those who counter G&G, they would flush them all down the toilet, not wanting any of it. I'm not sure what you mean by that. That like I'm a counter to G&G and flush me down the toilet too. I don't know what you're saying. They don't want to be associated with it for sure. Like if there was a chance for Gina Carano to get rehired, she made a decision when she went Daily Wire and you know all of that.
Good written. Like everyone is like, you know, to me, and this is just my opinion, I didn't miss her when she left because I thought she was a crappy actress to begin with. So bye.
She makes them look like fools because honestly, as a person, I don't hate Gina Carano. I don't like the things
Yeah,
he
I
said,
don't.
but
I mean,
but honestly, it makes them look like fools because their whole accusation of the industry is propping up less talented people for reasons.
yeah,
And
she just
you're propping up Gina Carano, a less talented person, for reasons because it's on your team. You're doing exactly what you claim to hate against the industry. She is not talented enough to warrant all this fandom behind her. And I'm not a hater of her. I want her to succeed. But I'm just saying the hypocrisy there of propping up, because that's what you claim a lot of these people that get jobs on these Disney movies or whatever. They're just there. They're not very, she does not have the talent to justify all this. I'm sorry. I want her to have it. Yeah.
Anchorman. He says, how come she is, in your opinion, widow? Basically, this is for me. When I'm watching you on screen, if I'm not buying your motivations, if I'm not believing your performance, if I'm not believing the delivery of the lines, you are not doing your job. And to me, it just seemed very mediocre performance overall. And in general, I just didn't buy it. Again, she just looked like someone that was reading lines.
We'll be honest with Moses Ingram is a better actress than Gina Carano. I know that's subjective. I know that's subjective, but come on. Are we going to play games here and that's someone's subjective opinion? Let's be real. Even if you don't think she did the best as Reva, she's probably a better actress than Gina Carano. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that her.
No, with the action,
with the emotion of anger, I think that is a bit dodgy with her. You know, in the finale, I think when she had a softer voice, she was injured in the emotion. There was an emotion shift. I think she's better at that than conveying anger as an actress.
Action. Gina Carano definitely does better action than.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really liked that her. She didn't say a word in Deadpool, really. And I thought she was great there. Because she was just like a bad A, like kicking everybody's butt, But yeah, when it comes to the delivery of lines, no, thank you.
Yeah, Gina Carano is good in the action sequences.
Yeah,
I said that. But on acting, when it comes to acting and delivering lines,
the range isn't there.
Yeah. All right, so this is where I think we'll wrap this stream up. We've gone about an hour for a hot topic. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Any final thoughts on that? Good conversation.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
It's a little therapy. It's what's on my mind. People are like, why do you cover the same topics? Because what I'm thinking about. It's as simple as that.
And it's what you want to talk about. You're letting it off your chest. This is he's the Mad Max for a reason, right, guys?
Yeah.
That's what I think. And he's gonna call it out.
Right, and I have fun doing it, and I'll try to behave. I mean, it's hard for everyone to behave. Everyone has to check themselves consistently. I don't want to go personal, but silence. That's my final thought. Silence is not an answer. Censorship is not an answer. So what do? Do what I mean, that's my subjective opinion.
Call it out.
Is address it when you can. Don't let things slide. If you let it slide and you don't take the trash out or address the garbage on the corner, it's not going to get better. It's going to sit there, fester. There's going to be flies and you gotta take out the trash. Thank you, counteract garbage. And speak to people that it impacts.
Question?
Yes.
I want to answer this question. So would it firing Gina been wrong if she was a better actor? She was already warned. She was put on notice. So it might have been more of a blow, to a bigger audience, possibly. But no, it wouldn't have been wrong. If your employer tells you, this behavior and you're warned and then you continue the said behavior, no, the company is not wrong for letting you go if it goes against what they believe in my opinion.
Yeah,
regardless if you are an Oscar-winning actor or not.
Unless you're self-employed, you're working for an employer, and that goes for Pedro Pascal too. I love Pedro Pascal. People don't like his activity on social media, but I think he stopped. Now, I don't know for sure that he was told, but I'm pretty sure, based on the Rian Johnson fiasco, and left-leaning individuals were fired from Star Wars as well. Chuck Wendig, when he was saying certain things about Trump supporters, he was fired. there's consistency there that Disney does not want, more than other studios, more than WB. They do not want people to put controversy on their company. They don't want your political agenda. They don't want to pay for your political agendas or your opinions. So if I had that job, I wouldn't risk it for some stupid Twitter activity. And I'm not some hero because I tweet. I'm sorry. Tweeting is, I mean, that's also subjective, but you're not a hero if you're a tweeter. Sorry. Yeah. And it is simple as that. Why would you want to?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And just like I'm consistent with Ezra. Ezra, regardless of Ezra's guilty or not worth the effort as an employer. And I want Ezra to be innocent. I don't want any victims. But honestly, if you were paying the paycheck, Ashley, would you, if you were in charge, would you greenlight another project with Ezra Miller, regardless of his innocence or not? No.
No, just based off, not even the newer stuff, just based off the small
Not a good
little
employee.
incidents with, being, just seeming like, the outburst, having possibly some dependency issues and some other issues. I think a lot of this other new stuff, the more I've looked at it, just seems very fake and just a pile on to me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's my final thoughts is, like I said, I don't like to be just like Moses Ingram. That's not my style just to sit here. It's on my mind. People want to talk about it. And Ashley, what's your style? You like to talk about it too? Tell me about your channel.
Well, it's the widow. Sometimes if you like the ramblings of a mad woman, you.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Come listen to me. Hopefully, I haven't had a whole lot. I've been really busy, so I haven't got a lot up in the last week and a half. But I've got a stream coming very soon with my good friend SSJK.Sanctum. And we have a good banter back and forth, and we'll discuss topics. And then next week we'll have a big Thor: Love and Thunder breakdown stream, and then I'll have some videos and some stuff put up, throughout this week, because I should be able to get that stuff back up as well. So videos, I make a lot of videos, news videos, Marvel content, reviews, and then if I see something that annoys me, I will call it out. And then I do breakdowns of bigger things at times too, like the woke thing, I will give you, I will peep you the game, give you some knowledge from time to time. But that's it. That's what I do.
Awesome, Ashley. And yes, Chubby Teddy, this is accurate. He did sponsor MeUndies.com and type in Campea for a discount on MeUndies.com. Actually, Chubby Teddy, if you could get that clip for me, I don't remember which stream that was on. That was hilarious. How can Ashley be a Marvel show if she didn't like Moon Knight?
See, okay, I said Moon Knight was midnight. All right, I said it was mid. I loved Oscar Isaac. I just had a lot of issues with it. Hawkeye I liked it until I didn't like it. That was just like Boba Fett. I liked it until I didn't like it. It just gets bogged down. But Ms. Marvel is where it's at. Everybody check it out. That's a great show.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching this hot topic. Uh-oh. Hero journalism. The Mad Woman on the Mad Max show.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.